Hello, everybody. Happy Friday afternoon. Hope yours is going well. We've got another Seahawks video to get to today, but first we just hit 2,480 subscribers to the YouTube channel. I want to give a shout out to all the subscribers, and of course, special tip of the cap goes to the channel members, especially elite channel members Y2KHA, Brendon, Mikel, Rip, Scott Todd, Hasher for MVP, VGK Tiger 75, Salacious Crumb, Ryguy 1218, and new elite channel member, Brendon Nelson's Haircut. All right, we're going to continue on with the running off-season series, the first of what should be several off-season video series. How much is it going to cost to keep free Agent X? And today we're going over a very interesting one, Poona Ford. So Poona Ford has been with the team now for 3 years. His role has accelerated with each passing season he's been in Seattle. His snap counts have gone up. His number of games played has gone up. And with this most recent season, I think that Poona Ford has clearly established himself as a relatively important part of this defense and somebody who may end up hitting our pocketbooks or our salary cap space harder than a lot of people, myself included, expected. Now, Poona is a fan favorite. I think there will be a lot of desire to keep him in Seattle, whatever it takes. I like Poona a lot as well. He's a very fun player, a very effective player. He's not exactly what you think of when you try to come up with a big price-tagged defensive tackle. He's not somebody who's going to command a massive salary. He's not somebody who's going to sign one of these $90 million deals like an Aaron Donald. But after doing a little bit of research, I believe I found some pretty compelling evidence that Poona Ford may be deserving of a fatter extension than a lot of people expect. So let's take a look at Poona Ford. Going to be mainly focusing on the season he had in 2020 because that's the season that he's ultimately going to be pushing forward when he's negotiating for his extension this offseason. And I want to point out that Poona Ford has made basically nothing these last 3 years while he's been putting in some pretty decent work for the team. So to those of you out there who might be expecting him to take some sort of discount, I seriously doubt that's going to be the case after the relatively small amount of money he's earned the last 3 seasons, despite putting in a lot of good work. But anyway, 2020, the man had 2 sacks, 14 pressures, which I actually think is underestimating him a little bit. I counted more like 16 pressures. So basically 1 pressure a game, which actually is not bad for a run-stuffing nose tackle. And also we had 40 combined tackles. And just for the sake of robustness, his Pro Football Focus grade was excellent, almost 82, which makes him, according to PFF, one of the better nose tackles in the NFL. Now, where does that put him compared to other recently signed defensive tackles in the NFL? So let's go to the list, and we're going to skip past these first several names because Poona may be good, but he's not Aaron Donald good, and I don't need to tell you why that's the case. Either you know or you don't. He's not Kenny Clark good. He's not Cameron Hayward good. These are the best of the best. Poona Ford is not in their orbit, so we're just going to go skip right past the top 10, and we're going to start at number 11 on this list, ranked by earnings per year on average. We're going to start with DJ Reader, who last offseason signed a 4-year, $53 million deal with the Bengals, just over $13 million a year. So let's take a look at DJ Reader. And obviously, we're going to be looking at 2019, which is the season that he had to earn that contract. You can see he played 15 games. He had 2.5 sacks and 12 pressures. So very similar to what Poona did last year, actually. And he had 52 combined tackles. So a little better than Poona in terms of raw stats. And PFF will tell you that he was phenomenal in 2019. Almost 87. And you guys know how I feel about PFF. But this means something. This tells you that he was a lot better than the raw numbers indicated. So, okay. I don't think we're there yet. Poona's not quite on the DJ Reader level in terms of his play. So let's go on to the next player on this list. Let's take a look at Javon Hargrave. He was another defensive tackle that signed a big deal in the last offseason. He left Pittsburgh to go to Philadelphia. He signed a 3-year, $39 million deal, which is exactly $13 million a year. And let's take a look at what he did in 2019 to earn that. He played in every game, started most of them, had 4 sacks, 14 QB pressures, and 60 tackles. So the stats will tell you that he was significantly more impactful than Poona Ford was in 2020. So PFF grade would also agree with that, although not by a lot. His PFF grade in 2019 was 83.5. So we're getting close, but we're still not quite there. Poona is a cut below these guys. So let's keep on looking. Let's go back to the list. Let's scroll through some names here. Oh, our old buddy Jerron Reed's here. We're going to go ahead and skip past him, though, and we're going to take a look instead at Grover Stewart of the Indianapolis Colts, who signed his free agent deal less than a year ago. 3 years, just over $10 million a year. All right, Grover Stewart in 2019. What did he do for the Colts? Played in every game. 3 sacks, 10 pressures, 30 total tackles. We're getting there, aren't we? It seems like we've gotten to a player that, in terms of raw stats, was very comparable to Poona Ford. And if you take a look at his PFF grade in 2019, it's actually far below what Poona pulled off. His PFF grade in 2019 that earned him this extension was just 66, not even 66. So we might be in range already. We haven't gotten that far down the list, and I feel like we've already kind of gotten to a pretty good point in terms of estimating Poona's value. But let's keep going. Let's scroll down a little bit to Michael Pierce, who is 20th. He makes $9 million a year. He signed this deal last offseason. And what did he do to earn that in 2019? Well, he played in 14 games, had half a sack, 3 QB pressures, and 35 tackles. Now, I believe he played in a 3-4, but still, this is certainly notable when you're evaluating these players. And if you take a look at Michael Pierce's PFF grade in 2019, it's quite good, don't get me wrong, but 69 is far below what Poona Ford pulled off last year. All right, so let's look at one more name. This one's going to be a little tough to pronounce. David Onyemata of the New Orleans Saints. He signed his free agency deal last offseason as well. He got 3 years, $26 million. And let's take a look at what he did to earn that contract in 2019. He played for the Saints, played in 15 games, had 3 sacks, 15 QB pressures, and 32 tackles. So we're looking at some numbers that are pretty comparable to what Poona did last year. And his PFF grade is not even really good. And again, I want to stress, I am not encouraging anybody to take PFF grades all that seriously. I think they should be used as a tool alongside many other tools to evaluate how good players are. But the fact that David's PFF grade is so low tells me that his impact might not even be close to what Poona Ford was accomplishing last year. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. I usually go a little longer, but I think we've gotten there. In fact, I think we've gone past there. Yes, Poona Ford probably doesn't deserve the 8 figures a year deals that guys like DJ Reader and Javon Hargrave got, but it doesn't take long at all before you can start making an argument that he's deserving of a contract in the realm of the Grover Stewarts and Michael Pierces of the world. So after taking a look at the way Poona Ford played last year and the contracts that recent defensive tackles have gotten, I will concede that the salary cap going down this offseason will probably hurt Poona's earning a little bit. He's definitely one of those players that will be making less money and demanding less value just because the cap is going down for the first time in a long time this year. But I would set the floor for Poona Ford at about $8 million a year, maybe $9 million a year. He's clearly better in 2020 than David Onyemata was in 2019. He seems to be better than Michael Pierce was in 2019. So based off this, Poona Ford is probably going to be looking for something around $9 to $10 million a year for 3 years. So My best guess right now in terms of that would just be 3 years, 30 million. The cap is going down, like I said, so maybe it'll end up being something more like 3 years, 27 or 25 million, but no lower than that. And I can't say anything about it. The way Poona Ford has played in his career so far, particularly in 2020, he deserves it. And I don't know if he's going to be able to get it here. We'll have to see. But if Poona Ford signs for less than 3 years, 27 million, then he's done this team a big favor. I couldn't tell you why he would do it, but if he does, know that he has done us a favor. But that would be my estimation for Poona's value this offseason. I'm going to say 3 years, 27 million, and we'll see where that ends up shaking out. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. See you guys in stream tonight. Should be another group stream tonight with Snacks and Green Earth, so turn out if you want to see that. If not, I'll finish up Time Gentlemen Please. And yeah, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for today's episode of How Much Will It Cost to Keep. Peace out. Go Hawks. Hopefully we can keep Poona Ford around. But if you take a look at the contracts that even run-stuffing defensive tackles are demanding lately, it's far from a sure thing. All right. Peace out. Go Hawks.